Hello there, welcome back to Blow Harvest Vintage Toys. I'm back with another how to collect video, and this time I thought I'd tackle variants, those of the vintage Star Wars kind. And what's prompted me to do this is a renowned collector didn't know what a Red Bar R5D4 was. So even though I'm going through the reviews of every figure in the vintage Star Wars line, and variants will crop up of every figure, of course. Nearly all figures have a variant. I just thought I'd go through some of the most popular variants. And it's important to understand that nearly all vintage figures have variations, range from obvious to minor ones. Collectors still discuss the origin and validity of certain less obvious differences today. These variations sometimes occurred when figures were produced in different countries or at different factories. For example, most of the Lily Ledy figures differ from ones offered in North America or in Europe, but we'll get onto that. Most of the major variants are found in the Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back lineups. The Return of the Jedi collection certainly has some proper variants, but not as many as the previous waves. So let's start off with Luke Skywalker. He's one of the figures with most amounts of variants in the entire line. The two major variants are either blonde or brown hair, but there's more than meets the eye. Luke's hair can range from dark brown to lemon blonde, and his trousers can also range from dark brown to cream. There's even a Luke figure with orange hair, or ginger, if you like. Another infamous variation is a double telescoping lightsaber, or DT lightsaber. Kenny used double telescoping lightsabers for the very first figures of Luke, Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader. A double telescoping saber is rare and can be recognised by the much longer tip of the saber, almost reaching the surface when pointed downwards. DT Luke is the least rare of the three figures, mostly because it's also included in most early bird sets. Ben Kenobi shares Luke's hair issues. You can find Ben with grey, but also with white hair. Darth Vader doesn't come with any major regular variants, but double telescoping lightsaber Ben and Vader are the rarest of all loose Star Wars figures, and there aren't many left today. Han Solo features one of the most obvious variants. Kenner first released Han with a small head, which was replaced by a larger head that looked a bit more like Harrison Ford. Kenner seemed to have overdone themselves since the second head looked a bit too large. The small head was mostly packed with the early cards, so it appears to be less common than the large head. Another figure from the first wave is the Sand People. Most Tusken Raider figures have filled tubes on the side of the face, but some figures who have apparently packed with the Return of the Jedi cards have hollow tubes instead. The colour of the gloves and belt from the Sand People figures can also vary from light brown to dark brown. The most infamous variation took place when Kenner replaced the cheap vinyl cape of its Jawa figure with a cloth cape. Kenner reasoned that since the Jawa was a smaller figure, they needed to upgrade its value by adding a nice cloth cape. History has its own way of dealing with decisions like this, and the short-lived vinyl cape Jawa became one of the vintage holy grails. Buying a loose vintage cape Jawa requires caution and research because many forgeries have been made. The vinyl cape of the Tall Toys Jawa, Australia and New Zealand, has a similar colour as the cape of Ben Kenobi, while other Jawa vinyl capes should be lighter in colour. If there's one figure that does cause many arguments between collectors, it is Snaggletooth. Is it a variant? Or is it a completely different figure, different character? Some say the full line is 96, and some say it's 100, including the blue Snaggletooth and the Max Rebo band. But I'm sticking to 96 and classing the blue Snaggletooth as a variant, hence why it's on this list. The story goes when Kenner got the black and white pictures of the Cantina aliens, Snaggletooth was from the waist up, so they made their figure a regular size and painted him blue. But as we know, Snaggletooth is red, and he's very short in stature. The blue Snaggletooth was never released on cardback, that's why I'm not putting it in with the main line. It was indeed released in the Sears Cantina playset with 3 other Cantina aliens. Boba Fett comes in a rich variety of colours and differences. A variation that has become quite popular is a Tri-Logo Boba Fett, which has a much paler colour blue and has no COO. The Tri-Logo nickname isn't really correct, since these Fetts are also sold on the Return of the Jedi cards in Europe. The first wave of Episode 5 also had some figures with obvious variations. Luke Skywalker, Besping Fatigues, succeeds in sharing similar characteristics with the original Luke. He also comes with a wide variety of hair colours, ranging from pale yellow to greenish brown. The boots of some figures may also be a bit more dark. Lando Calrissian has easily recognisable variation because some figures' teeth and eyes aren't painted, and both variations are equally common. Leah Organa, Besping Gown, is a next Cloud City figure to feature interesting variations. She comes with a crew neck, a flesh colour, turtleneck, or even a rare gold neck. This figure was also released in a variety of different faces, so Leia Besping figures will rarely be exactly similar, and I did a whole video on that. The Rebel Soldier Hoth battle gear is a figure with so many small variations, including colour of the skin and clothes. Not unlike Han Solo, Hoth battle gear, whose legs can have different shades of brown. The Imperial Stormtrooper Hoth battle gear has an interesting variation, being the YPS, PBP Spanish Snow Trooper. YPS was a German comic that often contained extras. Issue 150 came with a Snow Trooper that sometimes had a gun from Palatoy's Action Force line. The YPS BBP can be identified by several small differences, including circular slots on the skirt and a slightly more detailed body. Other figures from the first wave are less obvious variations. IG-88 comes in metallic or in chrome. The Besping security guard comes in a variety of moustaches, and Bosk appears with different shades of colour on his head, limbs and jumpsuit. Yoda has endless variations. He's either accompanied by orange or a brownish snake, and while these are the two main alterations, the diminutive Jedi Master often appears in different skin colours, and his gimmick is found to have several tones of brown. I'm still looking for one of those. The later waves of the Empire Strikes Back contain less obvious variations, though the Imperial Commander figures sports two heads variations, skinny and round. The Ugnaught can be encountered wearing a bluish or a purple smock. There are Ugnaughts with smocks whose colour differ a little bit from the blue and the purple, though sunlight might have caused the colour to fade. Even without the smock, the Ugnaught figure comes with many small differences, such as the colour of the face, different coloured eyebrows, thin or thick cords of the smock. Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight outfit is the next Luke figure with many variations. An early trailer of the Return of Jedi showed Luke with a blue lightsaber, and that's probably why Kenner released the first Luke Jedi figures with a blue lightsaber instead of a green one. Luke's cape can be found sewn shut or with a snap, and that, believe it or not, is one of my holy grails. On top of things, two main sculpts were used for Luke Jedi. One has moulded face with painted darker hair, and the other sculpt has moulded lighter hair with a painted face, the reason why many Luke Jedi figures have paint damage to the top of the nose. And the Rebel Commando and General Merdine can be found as well with either a moulded or painted face. Klaatu can have variants in the skirt, different fabrics, and or differently coloured limbs and legs. Han Solo Trenchcoat is a last figure with obvious variations. He comes with or without camo lapels on the front of the collar of his Endor coat. I spoke earlier about Lily Leddy, and as they are from a different factory, not really variants. Again, it can be argued that they are. That's really up to you. Leave it in the comments what you think about that. But I am adding them to the variants. So here we go. We've got the Jawa, which has a cloth cape, but a removable hood. And it has a pilot blaster instead of the Jawa blaster. The Biker Scout, which has a short mouth, the little snout on his helmet. Bib Fortuna has a burgundy cape, as does Squidhead. And before I go on to the last variant, I just want to mention the variant R2D2 from Takara, the little wind-up R2, which was George Lucas's favourite toy. But I'm going to end on a little droid this is why I'm doing this video, to be honest with you. And that is R5D4 and the little Red Bar that I have never actually seen, but I always look for, either on eBay or when I get a job lot. I always look for the Red Bar R5 or the Holotubes Sand People. If you look at the left hand side of the little fella, he's got a long red bar, and to the left of that there should be a tiny little box, and if it is red, you've got a Red Bar R5D4. So there you go, I hope that helps. I like to be informative and entertaining, but it's just something I love talking about. So if you've got any such questions, let me know. And while you're at it, please subscribe and check out the rest of my content. So thanks for watching, allowing me to play out the toy box. And as always, may the toys be with you. She was Hasbro's way of trying to appeal to girls. After finding success with G.I. Joe and Transformers, Gem was an attempt by Hasbro to use an animated series to conquer the pink aisle at the toy store, the same way they had the action figure aisle.